Hey, Kyle, it's wonderful here again with another wrestling review. This time it's MLW Kings of Colosseum 22 from July 14th, 2022. You can also think of this as episode number 153 of MLW Fusion, Major League Wrestling. So this is the season finale of MLW. It features a big world heavyweight title defense between former partners, now bitter enemies, after Richard Holliday betrayed his partner in the dynasty, Hammerstone, who is the current champion. So that will be the main event tonight. Hammerstone defending against Richard Holliday. And even though this has a lot of long-term story behind it, I do think MLW slightly dropped the ball by not promoting this big match as much as much as they could have. We've barely seen Holliday or Hammerstone in the last month or so. So I think there's a lot more they could have done to promote this big match. They're kind of treating it the big season finale, big title match between two guys that were used to be friends, now bitter enemies. I think they could have done a lot more to promote this, have people maybe even like know about it, in the mainstream wrestling community. So I think they dropped the ball a little bit. We'll see. Maybe I'll take a look and see how they do on the ratings as far as how many people watch the YouTube show. But um, yeah, we'll get into it, though. I usually recap a lot of the other big stories at the beginning of these MLW reviews, but I do feel like this main event overshadows everything else so far, and it is the season finale. So um, I'll just kind of go over things if they need backstory as we go here, if they show up on the show. But yes, this is the season finale. And I feel like the main event kind of overshadows all the other stories on this particular episode anyway. So we start the show off with MJF of all people, just in a flashback or a recap of when the dynasties past. That is the MJF and Hammerstone and Richard Holliday were all in the dynasty, among other people. But it really reminds me that I've been missing MJF. He's been missing from TV for about 6 or 7 weeks now in AEW. So shout out MJF. Get to see him a little bit here. So it shows Holliday being the alternate in last year's Battle Riot. Meanwhile, Hammerstone won that Battle Riot. So that's where some of the jealousy from this feud started almost a year ago now. So eventually, Hammerstone did win the title after winning the Battle Riot, basically the Money in the Bank briefcase. And we see Hammerstone defending the title against Jacob Fatu, and then the cracks in the dynasty begin to form, and then the betrayal from Holliday with Alicia, his girlfriend. So we find out that Holliday was also in bed with Cesar Duran the whole time, pretty much, or at least at that point. And now that takes us up to now, the title match. So Rich Bocchini and Joe Dombrowski are the commentators tonight. You might know Rich as Rich Brennan from NXT. Joe Dombrowski also does some of the writing and booking on these shows. So Brittany Blake makes her entrance first as we start this week's action in the featherweight division. And Brittany Blake is an 8-year pro trained by Drew Gulak. This is in Philadelphia, remember? So she debuted in MLW last year. And just yesterday, Brittany was at the AEW event for the Dark Elevation taping. So this Monday, tune back in. I can let you know how Brittany Blake does again. So if you're interested in that, Zoe Skye is going to be her opponent. Even though she looks about 15 years old, Zoe Skye has 15 years of wrestling experience, and Zoe Skye was trained by Johnny Gargano, and Johnny Gargano's original trainer as well. So Zoe originally debuted for MLW all the way back for one match in 2011, but then re-debuted under a new name 10 years later and only had one match. So this is her third match. I think it was only the second match in MLW for Brittany Blake. So Zoe Skye comes out with her music still playing, goes up to the top rope before even getting in the ring and hits Brittany with a huge shotgun drop kick. That looked pretty good from Zoe Skye. So that starts the match out with a bang. And yes, these women were rushed and told they don't have much time. Where have we heard that before in women's wrestling? Like pretty much everywhere. So that's not good. At least there's a women's match. Like they're getting the women's division going. But yet again, it's, oh, you got to be super rushed. Get all your stuff in and get out of there, so the men can get back to action or whatever, however they want to look at it. But anyway, that's always discouraging. But it was a decent short match anyway, not to discredit the women that were in it. Zoe then goes for the cover right off of that drop kick for a 3-second win or whatever, a 5-second win. But Brittany's able to kick out. both of these women are super small, so definitely the featherweight division fits them. They're about 5'0", probably 90 to 100 pounds each. Um, but then again, like the featherweight champion Ty Valkyrie is nowhere near that size. She's a lot larger. So it's kind of a weird way to term your women's division if you think about it based off of weight. Um, just like the whole women's division is called featherweight. I get it that you don't want to say the word women, and I respect them for that part. And it is like calling your division knockouts is just as cheesy in my opinion. But I think the way to fix it is just always call the men's title. This is the world title for the men. This is the women's title, the world title for the women, and stuff like that. I think that's the best way to do it if you're trying to please everyone. But anyway, Zoe hits a nice spin kick, and then oh wait, no. Brittany first hit a DDT, but Zoe kicked out. So like I said, everything's like super quick. Get big moves, cover them, kick out, do another big move, cover. Like we've seen in women's matches for decades. So Zoe hits a nice spin kick and then a crossbody, really huge crossbody off the top rope. That looked great. These women are told they don't have much time for sure, though. They're rushing around through everything. Then out of nowhere, Brittany hits the 609, the same as the 619 Tiger feint kick. But Zoe then hits a backstabber after that. The ref seemingly hit the mat 3 times, it looked like, but it was only a 2. Big tornado DDT now by Brittany, and then Brittany locks a bad omen cloverleaf. She's kind of got a gothic look to her, Brittany does. So the bad omen is the name of her cloverleaf. This makes Zoe Skye tap out. And Zoe Skye's gimmick kind of looked like she was very similar to Candice LeRae. So anyway, your winner by submission is Brittany Blake. What a quick rushed match. Almost not even worth it, but it was cool to see these two women out there at least. Getting to know a few more names that I didn't know, such as a woman that was trained Zoe Skye. I've never heard of in my life. She's been around for 15 years and was her cagematch.net page says she has a pretty good rating, and a lot of people are like, I don't know why people never give this woman a chance. Maybe it's her size. She is super small. It doesn't quite look like she can beat people up. But then like this, you could say the same thing about Rey Mysterio. So anyway, hopefully we get to see them again in a longer match. But now we've got a new interviewer woman. Her name is Sam, and she's with one half of the MLW Tag Team Champions, EJ and Duca. And she asks EJ, he was there, and well, she says to EJ, you were there to witness the dynasty implode firsthand. So, what are your thoughts about tonight's main event? EJ says, well, first of all, you should be asking me why is the most dominant man, the man with the most eliminations, the man who is undefeated, the man that is standing here eager for a championship match. Sam's now looking flustered as EJ looked like he was going to continue asking her why she didn't ask that. But EJ then says, no, I'm just playing with you. I'll be in the VIP section, relaxing, watching, making sure everything is copacetic. My time is coming, says EJ Nduka. And that's the last we see of him tonight. So then we see a video package that Hammerstone's narrating. He tells us all about the extra things that a champion has to do, such as media appearances and meet and greets. And Hammerstone says he wants MLW to grow, and he's just the man to help them take them to new heights. So then we're told the next season of Fusion will start this fall. I'm assuming we'll see the Battle Riot soon. I was hoping to see the Battle Riot like next week or the week after. But I have no idea what this means for the rest of the summer because it's remember, this is the season finale of Fusion. So we're told the next season of Fusion will start this fall. So I hope that MLW just doesn't drop off the face of the earth for the rest of the summer. And I'll have to keep on the eye on the news. Make sure you check into my flagship podcast every Friday, and that's where I have the news section, so I can let you know what happens going forward. But it is a little worrying. They tell us to look out for news on their website and social media for what's going to happen in the future. But like I said, a little bit worrying. We get a recap now of Real One. That's Enzo Amore attacking Jacob Fatu. I don't think I need to get into that too much, but just know that there's been some beef going on. And then between the two, kind of like assuming Jacob Fatu ran into, or Real One ran into Jacob Fatu in the back, and that pissed off Jacob Fatu. Then Real One had his car scratched, and he thought it was Jacob Fatu that did it. and then real one attacked Jacob Fatu with 2 glass bottles from behind. That was the last time we saw them. So now we're told Hot Topic now has a partnership with MLW to carry MLW shirts in their store. And then Sam, the interviewer woman, is in the back with Richard Holliday and Alicia. And Holliday says, Hammerstone, when you walk down that aisle tonight, I want you to treat it like it's memory lane. With each step you take, I want you to reminisce about the times we had when we were best friends, like when we went to Mexico for all your pharmacies. A little low blow there on a steroids joke, but that was pretty funny. Holiday continues by saying, when you enter the ring, look in my eyes, because then you'll realize that all those memories meant nothing to me. They never did or will. All I care about is money and championships. It was always me. I was always the sole proprietor of the dynasty. And I will walk out of here with the MLW World Heavyweight Championship. Great promo here from Holliday. It reminded me of Cody Rhodes. But I do have a complaint. Holliday needs a lot of work on his facial expressions. He didn't really look like he was believable in what he was saying. He had a lot of goofy facial expressions while he was saying serious things, which takes some people out of what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? He needs to work on his facial expressions for sure. Also, within the match, I noticed that he needs to work on his facial expressions. But Holliday does cut a great promo. Alicia now says she's already booked the after party at the Hamptons for after the match. Then they kiss, and Alicia yells at Sam that why are you still here while they're kissing and stuff. So nice. We will see one more match tonight. I wasn't sure if it was just going to be the 2 matches. But yeah, coming out first, a big cheers is ACH. He's got great 16-bit Super Nintendo graphics version of himself on the video. I love ACH. I wish he was in New Japan a lot more like he used to be. And wow, his opponent out next is Matt Cross. Hopefully this goes at least 5 minutes. Give me at least 10 minutes of this, please. Matt Cross as Son of Havoc was a Lucha Underground legend. Lucha Underground, one of my favorite companies of all time, if you want to call it a company. I was more of a TV show, but Matt Cross as Son of Havoc was able to stand out in that crowd of really, really good wrestlers. And in my opinion, probably was the second best wrestler in the company, right behind Prince Puma Ricochet. So great surprise to get this match right before the main event. And we're told they've never had a singles match before. So definitely go find this match. This match exceeded my expectations. And even though it was a surprise, I immediately thought it was going to be a great match. So go look up Matt Cross versus ACH. This was a banger for sure. So the announcers put over just how world traveled these 2 guys are, including wrestling near the North Pole and all the way on tiny tropical islands that a lot of people haven't heard of, like Reunion. But I know all these countries from playing all. I used to love the FIFA World Cup game where you could pick any one of the like 200 countries and try and get them to the World Cup and then win it. So I would always pick things like Reunion and like they were like, it would make the game so hard, but it was fun. Um, so yeah, this is a great match. I'm going to describe it the best I can. A lot of quick action, but I do try and help you describe how this action went and why they did what they did, which they put on a clinic here. So let's get into it. They start with some great grappling, some catch can amateur style stuff. They work a few arm bars, and then Cross does a cool counter. ACH has seen enough of that, so then ACH picks up the pace by running the ropes. They each hit arm drags on each other, and Cross is able to counter twice so that ACH, oh, I can do this style too. So now Cross has shown ACH, remember this is their first ever match. So Cross has now shown ACH that he can do the grappling just as well as ACH and can do the high intensity lucha libre stuff just as well. So Cross then goes to show off his striking with a great leg sweep into a Kokeshi elbow drop. The only way I could describe it, a slow move, dropping elbow drop. ACH now doesn't want to go into a striking game. Instead goes to a technical submission style and gets Cross all tied up, and then gets the Mudalock on, but Cross immediately gets to the ropes. Probably recognizing he was in trouble there, but Cross also showing he can do. So these guys are basically matching each other on everything. We've seen a little catch can grappling. We've seen a little bit of technical submission style. We've seen a little striking and some lucha libre, all within the first like minute or 2 in this match. Great stuff. great way to tell a story of your first ever match between two world travel guys, that they can one up each other, and not really one up each other, but be even on every single style, and they keep going the different styles in a hurry here. So um, now they try to pull some of their more innovative moves that they've added to their arsenal that maybe nobody else has, to try and confuse their opponents now that they see it's such an even match. So ACH runs and then stops and then goes the run again, and this was to try and throw off the rhythm so Cross couldn't block or counter the next move. But Cross was well aware of what was going on, cartwheels forward to get out of the situation, then hits a springboard crossbody onto ACH. Cross goes right up to the top rope and hits a stomp to the back of the shoulders of ACH, who gets up out of that, but a running pump kick has ACH in trouble now. But he's able to kick out at 2 as we go to an ad break, unfortunately. So hopefully we didn't get to miss too much of this match, but this is still a great match. But hopefully they didn't have to cut too much of it out. So when we come back from the ring, both men are standing in the ring. Nobody has control. They counter each other for a while until ACH gets the upper hand. ACH now lands 3 big strikes in a row to send Cross out of the ring. Then ACH slingshot crossbodies to the outside onto Cross. ACH then goes up top, but Cross is able to meet him up there. ACH is able to throw Cross down, and then Cross evades the dive from ACH, but ACH was well aware and rolled right through it back to his feet. Then ACH immediately hits Cross in the head with an enziguri kick. Right after that, a brainbuster has Cross in trouble, but Cross kicks out at 2. The announcers say that MLW will now be able to be seen in the UK on Sky TV channel 191 every Wednesday night. So check that out if you've got Sky TV channel 191 in the UK. Both men are now on their feet and they exchange forearms. ACH counters a lariat into a German suplex, but Cross flips through it in the air onto his feet. What a match this is. Now we're at the very end, so I put what a match right at the crescendo here. I could have definitely seen it go into the next gear, but it ends here on like gear number 5. I think they had a 6th gear in them. But Cross then springs off the ropes with his shoulders into a cutter on ACH, one of the moves that he would always hit in Lucha Underground that looked amazing. Cross immediately goes up top, hits a shooting star press for the 1-2-3. This match was awesome. Probably the best match I've seen in MLW in a long time. And let's see if the main event world heavyweight title match that's closing out the season can live up to that one. Holy crap. And I think it does not. This match is so good. The story that they were able to tell without any build, no build, like the other match, the main event match has all a year's worth of build in it. And I still don't think it told as good a story in the ring as this match between two guys that have never seen each other in the ring before. This match was awesome. Go do yourself a favor if you're a wrestling fan and go watch ACH versus Matt Cross. It is totally awesome. So in the back now, Hammerstone's all alone, and he says, "We're finally here, Richard. We're finally at the match you wanted. But right now, while you're tying up your boots, the nerves are probably setting in. You'll get to the curtain with sweat dripping down your face, and that's when you'll realize that this hasn't been some fairy tale fantasy where you can just walk up and take the title from me. All of your actions have consequences. When you get into the ring and stare in my eyes, realize that I am the consequence." So good promo there by Hammerstone. Probably not quite as Holliday said his promo better than Hammerstone, but Hammerstone was way more believable with the facial expressions and body language. So I would give the edge to Hammerstone on the promo battle here because of that, because of the facial expressions and body language. But a good set of promos here. I would have preferred to see these on like last week's episode because like I said, I thought they did a bad job. We haven't seen enough of Hammerstone and Holliday recently to really get into this match, in my opinion. It's kind of was on the back burner and then brought back and like, oh yeah, we have a year's worth of story and it's a big main event. This is like your WrestleMania title match at the main event. It feels like, because it's the season finale, and then they just didn't, in my opinion, build it up enough. But I love these two promos. They played off of each other. Both men were talking about what they want each other to think about when they look in each other's eyes when they get in the ring. So that was pretty cool. Basically, Hammerstone wants Holliday to feel like you're about to atone for your sins, where what's his name? Holliday wants Hammerstone to feel like, oh well, I was like never your friend to begin with. None of your like memories that you cherish mean anything to me. So, before the match can start, we see in the back, in the darkness, a smallish guy with a hood over his face. We can't see who it is, and this guy enters a door that had a sign over it that read Richard Holliday. So we're assuming it's Richard Holliday's locker room, and the announcer mentions maybe more crooked refs. But it definitely had something to do with Cesar Duran, and it might have even been Cesar Duran himself. But I think it is because the ref that comes out later is much larger. So we see that same Mace Warner is coming soon video. So again, I don't even know when MLW is coming back. So when they do, I'm assuming they will have not only Mace Warner but Killer Cross as well. So then we see a recap of last week when Myron Reed turned on Davey Richards and Myron Reed joined the Boom by A Fight Club. So in the back now are Alex Kane and Myron Reed from the BFC. And Kane says, Davey Richards, you don't have what it takes mentally or physically. Didn't you train with that fool? And then Myron says, yeah, I trained with this man and we are not impressed. You are not a big dog no more, Davey. So Kane says, you're a pup. You're an American pup, and I'm a dog walk your butt all over New York. So pretty good promo there from the new Boombaye Fight Club, or at least the revamped version, 3-man version now. No Mr. Thomas in that video. So next is time for the main event. We see a video of all the, not all of them, but past MLW World Heavyweight Champions like they do in Japan. But Japan does show all of them. But I love this. We see Satoshi Kojima, Mike Awesome, Steve Corino, Swerve, Low Key, Tom Lawler, Jacob Fatu, and then it ends with Hammerstone. So good little video to hype us up for the main event. The tail of the tape has the height and reach advantage for Holliday, but the weight and strength advantage goes to Hammerstone. So maybe whoever shows they have the speed, agility, and stamina might be the winner of this match. But also, this is going to be a mind game of emotions. So it's not just a physical battle since there's so much history with these two men. So Richard Holliday comes out. He's got some of the worst music I've ever heard in my life. It's basically nails on a chalkboard, and it hurts my ears even thinking about it right now. That is not exactly a big fight feel with that crappy music. He kisses Alicia again and has some farty looking pyro. The crowd boos him big time. Hammerstone out next, the big cheers. He also has the same farty pyro. If the pyro doesn't look good, then don't use it at all, is my always I that's my opinion on everything. Like I'm never gonna come out here and put out a crappy review because just to get it out. So if you can't get good looking pyro, don't have any pyro at all. Uh, but we see the ref they take a while and then they finally look into each other's eyes like the whole promo was having them talk about earlier, and that was just before the introductions are made. We see the referee. He looks like the janitor from the TV show Scrubs, which is kind of funny. And then we get more goofy facial expressions from Holliday, which really doesn't fit a main eventer. And the rest of his character doesn't fit all these goofy facial expressions that he does either. So he really needs to work on that, in my opinion. The crowd throws red streamers for Hammerstone, who's in all red tonight. And all right, let's see if the heavyweights in their big main event season finale match, title match here, can prevent getting outshined by ACH and Matt Cross, who had a non-title match earlier. Spoiler alert, they do not live up to that earlier match, but it's not a terrible match either. So let's get into it. They start with a flurry of punches. Hammerstone gets multiple in, but Holliday is able to reverse it. Hammerstone then no sells the punches from Holliday, and then Hammerstone goes back on the attack, hitting multiple kicks to the gut in the corner. Holliday then blocks a suplex attempt by clapping the ears of Hammerstone. Holliday doesn't capitalize on this, which was a big mistake because Holliday gets hit with the overhead belly-to-belly suplex right after that. Hammerstone looks for the Nightmare Pendulum finisher already, but Holliday is able to escape it. But then immediately Holliday gets clotheslined out over the top rope to the outside of the ring. Holliday is able to land on his feet and pulls Hammerstone out there with him. Hammerstone gets the upper hand and goes on the attack, but Alicia gets in the way to stop it. Hammerstone grabs her by the wrist. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe she went for a slap or something. But Holliday comes over with a sneak attack and hits a Russian leg sweep to the mat outside as we go to an ad break. So pretty good start here. Pretty good flurry, like pacing to it. So when we come back there in the ring, back in the ring, where Hammerstone's looking for a vertical suplex, Holliday is able to block it, so Hammerstone just throws Holliday forward. That looked pretty cool. And the suplex was a deadlift version as well. Hammerstone now charges Holliday into the corner, but Holliday is able to get a roll up for a 2, and then a spine buster by Holliday also gets a 2. Holliday stays on the attack now and hits a spinning neck breaker. And now Holliday works on the ankle, stomping and punching and doing different things to Hammerstone's ankle. Hammerstone does have a history of ankle injuries in the past. So definitely the former teammate would know that. So smart here by Holliday. Holliday hits more attacks on the ankle, but Hammerstone's able to block a figure 4 attempt. It looks like it was going to be a figure 4. Hammerstone's now getting up, limping severely, but he's able to hit a few shoulder tackles even with the limp, and then a German suplex. So Holliday gets up right out of that German suplex, hits a big big knee to the gut. I mean, it was a big kick to the gut. I don't know why that was so hard to say, but Holliday then hits a double underhook facebuster. It's basically a pedigree, but it was a different landing and different Holliday landed differently than a pedigree, like not on his knees, more flat on his stomach kind of deal. More goofy facial expressions after the kick out from Holliday, which he really needs to work on. Now Alicia gets up on the apron to distract the referee while also throwing her shoe over the Holliday. So Hammerstone actually gets hit now with the heel of the shoe, but again kicks out. Hammerstone blocks the next move and hits his F5 signature move, but the referee got knocked down during that. So, you know what that means, because Hammerstone then gets the visual 1, 2, 3, even up to 8 seconds of pinning on Holliday, where there is no referee to count it. So usually when that kind of thing happens in wrestling, that doesn't mean that means your chances of winning are going to go not be very good, because the crowd got to visually see you get the pin, and now there's an excuse to get the belt off of you and set up a rematch. So let's find out what happens. Remember, the referee is now down, so Cesar Duran comes out, and with him, he's got a referee in a Los Aztecas mask, and the referee runs to the ring. But Hammerstone will not let the referee in the ring. He knows he smells a fish when he sees one, or smell, you know what I'm trying to say. Holliday then attacks from behind off of this distraction. The crowd's booing big time now. Holliday then goes to get a chair, and the referee conveniently looks away to fix his mask while Holliday hits Hammerstone with the chair about 5, 6, maybe 7 times. Holliday then hits the 2008, that's his finisher, a spinning suplex type maneuver, and I thought it was over at this point, but the original referee pulls the new referee out of the ring. The original referee pushes the Azteca ref down and goes back in the ring. Holliday gets all up in the face of the original ref, but the ref says, "I will disqualify you if you touch me." Hammerstone now fires up. Holliday's punches have no effect, and hilariously, when Hammerstone finally gets up, the crowd does the "you" from the Hulk Hogan thing. I did it more like the rap song, but you know what I'm talking about, because this was basically the Hulk up spot. It just didn't feature the finger point, or I don't even think he blocked anything. He was just no selling. So anyway, Holliday now begs for mercy, and Hammerstone hits 3 big lariats and then punches out. The Azteca ref had gotten back in. Hammerstone punches him out. We never see the Azteca ref ever again. Hammerstone then does a gorilla press into a boss man slam and then shakes the ropes like the Ultimate Warrior. So 3 different legends from the past being shouted out here by Hammerstone, who then hits the Nightmare Pendulum for the 1, 2, 3. Your winner by pinfall and still MLW World Heavyweight Champion is Alexander Hammerstone. Good match. They definitely had me guessing a few times. I bought the near fall a few times as well. They got me on those, but I still say the story that ACH and Matt Cross blew this out of the water. That's no fault of the heavyweights here. ACH and Matt Cross are just really 2 great veterans. And the story that ACH and Matt Cross were able to tell within their short little match with no build or anything, no story behind it, was amazing for a wrestling fan to watch. But this one wasn't too bad either. Like I said, they had me buying a couple of those false finishes and stuff like that. So pretty good overall. Keeping the title on Hammerstone, I think, is the correct decision. Holliday is definitely great at promos, but needs to work on the total package. Holliday also kind of looked winded through the last half of this match. So maybe if Holliday can work on his stamina, and like I said, the promos are great, but the facial expressions and the body language is terrible. So Holliday is close to being like a main eventer worthy of a world heavyweight title run, but I think he needs to work on a few more things still. Good match overall, and good stuff by Hammerstone. He showed conviction in his promo and showed. I don't think Hammerstone looked winded in this match at all. So good stuff. Before the episode can end and before the season can end, we see a castle or a mansion at night. I'm not quite sure what was going on, but when we go inside, we see it's that underground or whatever dark medical facility that Mads Kruger was in last week. So now we see Mads Kruger crawling around in the darkness. No longer there's a mask. If you remember last week, we now see flashbacks to him Mads getting his face damaged in the Weapons of Mass Destruction match after the match. And then we saw flashbacks of him getting his face reconstructed in this black market laboratory or wherever they're at. Mads is all bloody now, and he's on his hands and knees, scared and in pain in the darkness. Someone appears before Mads. We don't see who it is, and they say something along the lines of Katanga. So it sounded like it sounded like someone saying Contra in a different language. So they also were kind of wearing military gear. It looked like a pretty big guy. I'm not quite sure who it was, but whoever it was, they put their hand on Mad's shoulder, who again was completely vulnerable, like a lost child. And the season ends on that note. So it looks like Mads Kruger and someone else are reforming Contra, and that will be a big story plot going forward into the next season. So hopefully we don't have to wait too long to find out more info about next season. All we were told tonight was that Fusion will return in the fall. That means what is going to happen for the rest of the 2 months of the summer. I hope there's absolutely nothing. That would be bad. But I want to see that Battle Riot. The Battle Riot's already been taped, so I think we'll get to see the Battle Riot before the fall, and hopefully soon. So stay tuned to the channel. I'll let you guys know as soon as I can, and then give me a subscribe if you're into MLW, so you don't miss any of the MLW reviews. Because at this point, I don't even know when the next show is. So I'll keep my eyes open and review anything that they do put out. But really good episode here. I recommend watching all of it, even that short women's match. Just to see some of the women that you might not know. They had a pretty good match. But that ACH versus Matt Cross match might be my match of the week, even though nobody talked about it. I didn't even know it was going to be on this show, but I think it has a definite potential for match of the week, and I need to get out there and spread the word that people need to watch that match. But the main event was pretty good as well. Hammerstone retaining the title against all odds was a pretty good decision. So now we'll see who wins the Battle Riot and has a chance to challenge Hammerstone at any given point. So that'll be pretty interesting, and I can't wait to watch that Battle Riot. It should be a lot of fun. So thanks for tuning in. I'm going to get going. You guys have a great one, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks. Peace.